We will now learn the date and time functions. The first function will be the today function, which we can find by writing is equal to today, open and close brackets, and click enter. So this gives you the date for today. Then for the now function, you write is equal to now, open and close brackets, click enter. This shows you the date as well as the time. In this table you see the office supply shipments. So these are the stationaries, incoming stationaries, the date shipped and the date they are received. We want to find the number of days that they took to be received. So we will find it by one function called network days. We write is equal to network days. You will click on the date shipped, the start date, comma, the date received. You can close the brackets, click enter. So you find this as, so these are the number of days that it took from the shipping to be received. And network days doesn't consider the day of the shipment and the day of the receiving. It just considers the days in between. Suppose we know that for pencils there were some 2 holidays in between the shipment and the receiving date. We can write comma 2 for the holidays and click enter. Now for the next function, it is days 360. So we can similarly find the number of days by writing is equal to days 360. You can write the start date, comma, the end date, close the brackets, click enter. You can find for the rest as well. Usually days 360 is higher than the network days since it considers delivery of the parcel. Now to find the report period, we can use the year frac function. We can write it as is equal to year frac. We can write the start date, comma, the end date, close the brackets and click enter. Now in this example we will find the weekday, month and hours worked for the clock in and clock outs on different dates. To find the weekday, we can simply write is equal to weekday and open brackets, click on the date, close the brackets and click enter. This function will only show you the number for the day. Like suppose Sunday is 1, so 3 would be a Tuesday. Suppose you want a name instead of a number, we can use an if function. You can use if weekday, the date is 1, we can call it a Sunday. We can put in an if loop. In this formula, so we can change this to 2 and make this on Monday and so on. We can now close the brackets and we can click enter. So you have the day of the week is Tuesday. You can similarly find for the others. Now to find the month, it's quite similar to the weekday. You write month, open and close brackets, click on the date and click enter. So you have 8 as a month, which is August. But if you want it to be in text, you can use the if statement like we did in weekday function. If this is 1, then call it January. The if loop only works for 7 statements in a row, so we could break the 12 months in half and do it accordingly. So we'll copy these. So we will copy this and change them like we did on weekday. You will want to put in a false blank space because we don't want a false to be shown if it's not from these 6 months. We will close the brackets and write and start the if loop again. You can copy this and 8 and write August. And write it for the rest. Say December. You can again give value for false and close all the brackets and click enter. So you see we have August instead of the 8 that we saw initially. Now to find the hours worked, we can again use the if formula combined with the hours and the minute function. So we can write if, open the brackets. Suppose if the minute in the clock in is higher than the minute in clock out, we can use a formula. Minute clock in is greater than minute in clock out. Close it. Then if this value is true, we could write hours in clock out since it's higher minus the hours in clock in, and you would subtract that with the minute in clock in since it's higher minus the minute in clock out. You would want to divide the minutes by 60 since you want to convert it to hours. So this is the value if true. If the value is false, you will change the formula slightly. You will subtract the hours correctly, but instead you will add the minutes. You will change this to T28 and this to C28. You will want to close the brackets and click enter. So you'll get the hours worked. You can copy this down. To find the total number of hours on flight, you can write is equal to sum. You can sum this range and click enter, and you have the total hours on flight.